Under my leadership, we had the most secure border in U.S. history by far. We replaced catch and release with detain and deport. One of my most successful policies was Title 42, which allowed for instant expulsion of any illegal alien who crossed our borders. Anybody. If they were bad, we got them out. We got them out fast. Those who trespassed into our country could be immediately sent back to the place from which they came. Every would-be illegal border crosser knew that with Donald Trump in the White House, our border was closed. It was absolutely closed, and they had no chance of getting in, and therefore they didn't come. When Joe Biden came into office, he terminated every successful border policy that was put into place, including Remain in Mexico, one of the best of them all, deliberately throwing open the borders and instituting catch and release and resettling untold millions and millions of illegal aliens into the United States. They're now your neighbors. Congratulations. Now Joe Biden is preparing to remove the last remnants of my Title 42 policy just a few weeks from now, wiping out the few remaining shreds of our southern border. Hundreds of thousands of people will pour in that day, and the judge already said that's what's going to happen. This will mean complete and total mayhem and utter lawlessness, and unlimited numbers of fraudulent asylum seekers flood into the United States unchecked. They are unchecked. Nobody has any idea where they come from. They don't know if they're healthy, if they're sick, if they're insane, or if they're coming from prisons. Already, tens of thousands of illegal aliens have massed on the Mexican side of the border. They're getting ready to storm across the moment Title 42, which is so important, is officially gone. Can you believe they're getting rid of it? And when that happens, countless more will charge in from all over the world. They're coming from all over the world. And some of the states, like California, are saying, come in and we give you free health care, free education. People hear that from other countries. They say, well, that sounds good to me. And they're making a mass charge toward our border. It's absolute lunacy. It will be a mass resettlement of millions and millions of illegal aliens into your communities. And the invasion will be aided, abetted, and facilitated by the Biden administration's every step of the way. Every path they take will be made easier by Biden. Congress should move immediately to choke off and terminate all funding for catch and release. We should ban Joe Biden and the communists and the administration from using a single federal taxpayer dollar to set loose illegal aliens into the United States. Now is the time we have to fight to make sure our country survives, because our country cannot take 2 more years of this invasion. And when I take the oath of office on January 20th, 2025, we will immediately begin the process of fully securing the border and removing the illegal aliens Joe Biden has unlawfully allowed to break into our country. Thank you very much.
A beautiful day here in Washington, D.C., but right now on our southern border, it is total chaos that's happening right now. It is May the 11th, the day the president has declared the end of the pandemic. But this day is also the end of Title 42. So let me just set the stage. If we go back a decade ago, at that time, Secretary of DHS Jay Johnson announced if we have 1,000 people that cross the border in a day, it's a very bad day for us if we have 1,000. Fast forward to the earliest days of the Biden administration, and they stopped doing border wall construction. They announced a change in Title 42 policy to turn it down. At some point there, announced a shift in how they're handling family policies, and they suddenly had 4,500 to 5,000 people a day. Yesterday, there were 10,000 people a day that illegally crossed our border. This bad situation where we've got 2.5 million people crossing our border now and abusing our immigration system and our visa system has now accelerated to a pace literally we have never seen. If you're a Border Patrol agent right now along our southern border, you literally don't know what the policy is. The old policy goes away at midnight tonight with Title 42. A new policy has been put in place today that has not been tested. And at the same time, the administration is stepping up and saying, we're very aware that we may have bad days to weeks to months coming ahead. The reason for that is because of the end of Title 42, because they had not put a new border policy in place in time to be able to make a difference. We have over 600,000 people just south of our southern border in shelters awaiting to be able to cross in the days ahead. 600,000 people. So what has happened is the administration has sent 1,500 military individuals to be able to go down to our border, not to be able to enforce the border, but to be able to handle transportation and processing people into the country. This is a chaotic situation that Americans do not like. Americans like legal immigration. They do not like illegal immigration, and they certainly don't like what's happening right now on our southern border, where they're doing what they call street releases. Street releases are just what you would think they are. These are individuals that come in, literally fingerprint them, get a name and information. They send them into the country and ask them to turn themselves in to an ICE agent in any location that they want to be able to pick. So they literally tell the agents on the border which city they want to go to. They say, when you get there, go to this community and turn yourself in. Then they can then get in line for a hearing dealing with asylum. In many places across the country, that line is now 10 years long. Street releases also mean these individuals are in these small communities, and they literally have nowhere to go, no transportation, no direction, and it's overwhelming the small communities. The chaos on our southern border continues to accelerate. This administration has not done what it needed to do. This was a very predictable crisis. And may I remind everyone, there was conversation about the end of Title 42 in the very first weeks of the Biden administration's term. We're now 2.5 years in, and they're showing they were not prepared for this moment. We have got to enforce our border and to be able to manage these crises in a way that just honors the law and honors the American people.